Aquesta darrera sessió se centra en la utilització de dades d'origen administratiu en l'anàlisi i planificació, prevenció i avaluació de polítiques actives d'ocupació. Van demanar que moderés aquesta sessió i a mi em va semblar molt adequat perquè els que em coneixen saben que des que estic al càrrec de l'Idescat, ara farà uns 3 anys, la meva principal preocupació és la d'introduir dintre de l'estadística oficial, dintre de la mesura dels afers econòmics i socials del país, un ús molt més intensiu i molt més eficient de la informació administrativa, que és molta.
I want to give you a short review on the development in the data infrastructure in Germany. Therefore, I will use this timeline below, and the first major step towards a well-developed data infrastructure in Germany was the appointment of a commission in 1999. So this commission was actually appointed by the Federal Ministry of Education and Research, and the main task of this commission was actually to make proposals how we could improve the data infrastructure in Germany with respect to scientific research. This appointment was initiated by an ongoing debate between the scientific community and data producers, such as the Federal Statistical Office. And because at this time, so back in 1999, administrative data were actually not really available for researchers. So the access was highly restrictive, and even if researchers had access to administrative data, they were not really useful, or they had to put a lot of work into the preparation of the data in order to use it for scientific research. So the format of the data was very raw, and also there was mostly the documentation was, so documentation that we actually need for scientific research was actually missing at this time. Today we have a very well-developed data infrastructure in Germany for scientific research. In total, we have 28 research data centers in Germany, and in total they provide 323 different data sets. Besides survey data, here in particular many administrative records are now available for scientific research. For instance, data on the Social Security, but also data of the Federal Employment Agency, as I mentioned before, on unemployment benefits and participation in these different programs. But also we have information on data available on firm level, but also on pension data. These improvement in the data infrastructure in Germany over the last decade is also reflected by the number of research studies, or the increase of the number of research studies relying on administrative data. So here, for example, I actually have a graph showing the number of IZA discussion papers, so those are research papers, that actually use administrative data, so German administrative data, for the evaluation of active labor market policies.
20 years ago, I, as a labor economist, was in about the same situation you are in at the moment. So unemployment was very high in Germany 20 years ago. Long-term unemployment was very high 20 years ago. And my father was long-term unemployed. So there was some personal commitment. And I asked myself, what could I do as an academic, as a labor economist, wanted to get into academia to solve the problems of people who are, in the case of my father, old, well qualified, but long-term unemployed. How could we change the world? And my ambition was, how could I contribute to change the world in Germany? And I made some experiences. And the first message I would like to send to the auditorium is, first of all, what we should really do is to try out new things. What we need is a kind of try out culture. And only you can do that in your profession, in your own world, in your own country. And you can learn a little bit from outside, that's quite okay, but you have to try it out at home, implement new things, and then see how that works. This is now the link to the ICA World of Labor homepage, and there you see, do caseworkers help the unemployed? There's a one-pager on that, and so on. And we discussed this paper with responsibles in the ministry. And I said, well, that's quite interesting. And I even learned something about how case managers are seen in international research. So, and even I learned a little bit about about this topic. Although I know lots of papers, but not all of them. Yeah? You always have a kind of selected view on issues. So this might be quite useful for you. It's easily to translate into Spanish or Catalan, and I think this could be maybe for you an additional source. And my last remark at the end of the day, just be patient, be optimistic, stick on this issue in your daily work. Everybody, if you can do that, but it needs time to change institutions like that, and also maybe some people are lost to a certain extent. You can change the world. Thank you.